Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Sometimes the man who truly loves you is the one who hides it best. Not because he wants to play games and not because he's emotionally unavailable, but because what he feels runs deeper than he's ready to face. This is what Carl Jung meant when he spoke about the unconscious. A man may feel desire, affection, even love. But if those emotions haven't fully reached his conscious mind, they won't come out in words. Instead, they escape in ways he doesn't notice. His tone of voice when you speak, the way he shows up when you're hurting, the tension in his silence. You might find yourself wondering why he pulls away when things get close, why he remembers the smallest things about you, why he reacts so strongly to your approval or your criticism. And if you don't understand what's really happening, you might assume he's confused, distant, or indifferent. But the truth is, he's not being cold. He's falling silently, deeply. Emotional desire, especially in men, often speaks without sound. It's hidden in behavior, in timing, in hesitation. So in today's video, we're going to slow everything down. We'll explore 5 real emotional signs that a man desires you, not just physically, but emotionally. These signs may not be loud, but they're consistent. They come from a place he might not even understand himself. But once you know how to read them, you'll begin to see the truth that lives beneath the surface. The truth he can't yet say, but can't help but show. When a man starts to fall for a woman emotionally, his behavior shifts in ways that aren't always obvious, but they are deeply telling if you know where to look. One of the clearest signs, he listens like it matters. Not just passive listening, not the kind where he nods and forgets what you said 5 minutes later, but active, intentional presence. He remembers small details you mentioned in passing days ago, your favorite cafe, the name of a friend you were worried about, that book you said you wanted to read. And it's not just memory, it's emotional attentiveness. He brings these things up later, not to impress you, but because they stuck with him. Psychologically, this kind of attention is a sign of emotional investment. It means you're occupying mental space even when you're not around. And for men who are often conditioned to detach or appear unaffected, this quiet form of care is a powerful expression of attachment. The second sign is a subtle but unmistakable kind of protectiveness. He offers help before you ask for it. If you're tired, he'll suggest you rest. If you're stressed, he might offer a solution or simply show up to make things easier. It's not about control, and it's not performative. It's grounded in something deeper, a calm, quiet masculinity that wants to shield, support, and make you feel safe. He doesn't need to announce it, but you feel it in the way he carries himself around you. Whether it's walking on the outer side of the sidewalk, checking in late at night to make sure you got home safe, or just noticing when you're not okay. His instinct to care comes alive, and in Jungian terms, this is where the archetype of the inner protector surfaces, the masculine energy that wants to protect what it values. Then there's a sign many women notice but struggle to interpret. His mood seems to rise or fall based on your words. If you compliment him, even in a small way, you'll see his entire energy shift. He lights up, becomes more engaged, maybe even more confident. But if you criticize him, even lightly or playfully, he may withdraw, become quiet, or seem suddenly unsure of himself. This doesn't mean he's fragile. It means your opinion matters more than he might admit. And that emotional sensitivity is a signal that his feelings are no longer casual. He's no longer indifferent. He's emotionally invested enough that your words now touch a deeper place. This kind of reaction isn't always logical, and he might not even understand why it hits him the way it does. But it's real. When a man starts reacting to you on an emotional level, he's no longer in control of how much he feels. And that shift from outer control to inner response is one of the strongest signs that he's falling, even if he hasn't found the courage to say it yet. So if you see these 3 signs, intentional listening, quiet protectiveness, and emotional sensitivity, you're not imagining things. You're witnessing a man in emotional motion, not with big declarations or obvious moves, but in the subtle, steady language of someone who's beginning to care more than he planned.
Now we're in the second part of this journey, where emotional attraction becomes even more profound, and the signs go beyond surface behavior. Here we explore the final two signals that a man is falling for you emotionally, even if he can't say it. These aren't just habits or passing reactions. They come from a deeper place within him. The fourth sign is one many women misread. He avoids making a move too soon. You might feel the emotional closeness building between you, the late-night conversations, the way he opens up, the growing sense of safety between you, and yet he holds back from turning that connection into something physical right away. This can be confusing. You might wonder, is he not attracted to me? But in many cases, it's quite the opposite. His restraint isn't hesitation, it's respect. When a man desires a real emotional bond, he often fears doing anything that might risk damaging it. He's not just seeking satisfaction, he's seeking something meaningful. And in Jungian psychology, this restraint reflects the deeper tension between the instinctual self and the conscious self, between desire and preservation. When a man holds back physically, it's often because what he feels is far more than physical. He senses that this connection could become something real, and he doesn't want to rush it and lose what's unfolding. That space he creates isn't distance, it's protection. Then comes the fifth and final sign, and perhaps the most powerful. He shows up when you're not okay. Not just when it's convenient, not just when things are light or fun, but when you're at your lowest, when something's wrong and you haven't even said it out loud. He senses it. And instead of disappearing or growing distant, he becomes more present. He checks in. He listens. He might not have all the right words, but he's there. And that presence, especially during your pain, is no small thing. Most men are not conditioned to step into emotional discomfort, especially someone else's. But when a man cares, when he feels emotionally connected to you, your pain matters to him. He may not say, "I love you." He may not even understand what he's doing fully. But his consistent, quiet presence in your moments of struggle says more than any declaration ever could. Because men don't offer that kind of emotional support casually. They only show up like that when something real is taking root. So as we close this part, remember, emotional desire doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's a pause, a silence, a decision to wait instead of rush, or a message that arrives at just the right time when your world feels like it's falling apart. These aren't coincidences, they're signs. Quiet, consistent signs that he feels something he may not be ready to name, but can no longer ignore. In the end, emotional desire isn't loud. It doesn't always come with romantic words or dramatic gestures. Sometimes it's hidden in silence, in the way he listens without interrupting, in the care he offers when you're not okay, in the space he gives you because he respects your rhythm. Jung taught us that much of human behavior is driven by the unconscious, and love is no exception. A man may not always understand the full depth of what he feels, and even if he does, he might not know how to express it. But the signs are there for the woman who knows how to see. When he remembers your small details, when your mood affects his, when he chooses to hold back from making a move too fast, not because he's unsure, but because he cares too much to ruin what's real. These aren't coincidences. These are the quiet markers of emotional connection, of someone who's falling, even if he can't say it yet. You don't need someone to say, "I love you." To know there's love, you need consistency, you need presence, you need to feel emotionally safe in his energy. And most of all, you need to trust your own intuition. That soft voice inside you that says, he's showing me something, even if he's not naming it. So, if you've ever felt confused by his silence, unsure why he acts close and then pulls away, ask yourself, is he expressing something he's not ready to admit? Is his hesitation a sign of depth, not distance? Because sometimes, the man who desires you the most is the one who's most afraid to lose you. If this video helped you see things more clearly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what's one subtle thing a man did that made you feel deep down, he's falling for me?